Welcome to the Copilot Cafe. In this session, we're going to be talking about the free version of Copilot. There is so much you can get from that free version, as even if it's just learning how to prompt for the first time, doing some research, helping you with some school projects or home projects that you would like to get help with. Today, I'm going to take you through two use cases. I'm going to show you a little bit about doing some research and that I might use for work. And then the second example that I'm going to give you is going to be around how I actually created this channel, how I researched for a name, how I looked for some images I might want to use and created new images using AI, and how I got Copilot to help me with that AI music as well. So let's get started. So I'm in the Edge browser, which I really love because I get this Copilot sidebar here, which I find really, really handy. So we're going to have a look at that in a second, but you can also just access Copilot here on the browser. So if I click that, I get the big Copilot screen. Now I'm signed in with my personal account, and you'll see at the top here, I've got the Copilot screen here. I've also got a notebook version. So on the Copilot screen, it's going to give me some things that I might want to go and try out. Just really trying to suggest to me why I might want to be using Copilot, what kind of searches I might want to make. And then I've got down here, new topic. So every time you go on to a new topic, you need to let Copilot know. Because if you don't, it still thinks you're talking about what you're already talking about. And then it starts suggesting things that are a little bit confused. In the same way as if you join a conversation halfway through and you think they're talking about something else and they're actually not. So Copilot will get confused if you don't click that new topic. Down in this bar here as well is the ability to add an image and use a microphone. I love the microphone feature. I use this quite a lot. Because I've said before, prompting is all about conversation. It's not keyword search. So it's like talking to your personal assistant. So I'll often just ask Copilot exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And in the notebook section, which we're going to take a look at, I like the notebook section because this is probably where I'm going to go if I've got a lot more of a complex set of asks, because I think Notebook allows up to about 18,000 characters as well. So I can start asking lots of questions. I can dump lots of notes in here and then ask it to make sense of those notes. So really useful notebook area. So let me just go back to Copilot. A section here that is really useful as well is those chats that you've had before, so you can see what dates you had them on. You can then just click back into that, and you see here I've asked it to help me with an upbeat intro for Copilot Cafe. It's going to go back and tell me what that conversation looked like and what the suggestions were. It also has some great plugins, and these are well worth a look at. So this is the personal version of Copilot. I need to remind you of that so that you can see these plugins. But there's different ones in here that you might find interesting. The one that I love is this Suno one, which is how I got the Copilot music, because I use that plugin to suggest some music from it. So for the next few minutes, I thought I would take you through two scenarios. The first scenario that I'm going to take you through is a research scenario. So I want to research the UK government's recommendations on generative AI framework. And I want to get a summary of all the key principles that they mention. And then I want to share that with my UK and my French and my German colleagues. I'd also like to get ahead of any potential questions that they might have to ask me about that set of recommendations. So I'm going to put together a bit of an FAQ document for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Bing, and I'm going to click on my Copilot button there. And then I'm actually just going to say to Copilot, please find the UK government's latest document on generative AI framework. I want to share this with my colleagues in UK, France, and Germany. So even though I've got quite a strong accent, it understood exactly what I just asked it for. So it put that in perfectly. And as I started to speak, then it actually started to read back to me what the results were. So because I spoke to it via the microphone, it will do read aloud automatically. And you can see here that it's found this framework for me. And it's got a PDF document there that I'd be really interested to have a look at. So I'm going to click on that and I can see I've got this PDF and that's the framework I'm looking for. So now I've got this document and it's 74 pages long. I'm going to use Copilot in Edge. This is why I like this sidebar that we've got going on here. I can just click in that top right corner and you can see it's already given me some recommendations. What do you want to do? One thing I need to make sure is that this is a fresh topic. It doesn't think that I'm already talking about something else, which it doesn't. I'm going to say, generate me a document summary. So it's going to start looking through those pages. Now, because this is quite a big document, it's going to break that up properly into separate sections because it won't look at all 74 pages in one view. It's going to do this in parts. So you can see here, it's already doing part 1. If I go view more parts, let's see what else it's going to come up with. All right, so it's got 4 parts to it. So it's looking at part 2. It's now working on part 3. And eventually part 4. And it shares the links with me as to where it got this information from, which part of the documents. So I could click on any of these and just double check that this is the information that I want. So I could click on that and it would take me to the part of the document that states this area. So really nice and easy. Now, I want to take that information out there. Under each of the sections, I've got a like, a dislike, I've got a copy, I've got an export, but it'll only export that part. So it won't export the whole set of 4 parts that it's come up with. I can share and I can read this aloud. Now, I could ask it some more questions. It's given me some other things that I might want to go in and ask. It can show me what sources it used. And then I could continue having a conversation here. I could add an image, a screenshot, use my microphone, all of that great stuff. What I'm going to do next is I am going to copy these individual parts. So I'm going to copy section 1 and I'm going to go into the notebook and I'm going to pop it in this top section here. So the top section is for you to write in. The reason I'm going into notebook is because notebook lets me paste in about 18,000 characters. I think that was the last amount that I heard. And that is better for me in this instance because I've got a lot of text that I want to paste in and for it to consider. So let me continue doing that. So that's part 3. And then finally, I'm going to copy part 4. Okay. Right, I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. So it doesn't care that it's got the different parts. And I'm going to say, create me a table that includes this information and shows clear principles mentioned. Okay, now I want it to pop all this into a bit of a table for me because I'm going to put this into my email that I'm going to share with all my colleagues. So straight away, it started to create this table. I can export this table, which is great. So it's gone through the information that was shared in those 4 parts, and it's popped that into a nice, easy to read table. And I can obviously export that and copy that as well. Now I could continue going, well, actually, I'd like another column that says something else, or I'd like you to remove this, and I can iterate this up to 30 times. So I see I've done 1 of 30. After that 30 in the free version, it's just going to say, right, that's it, you're done. I'm going to leave that where it is at the moment. And then I'm just going to go back to my document, because the other thing that I want it to do is I would like a 20 FAQ set of questions that I can show colleagues, because I want to get ahead of any questions they might have. So my prompt I've put into the Edge sidebar there is create 20 FAQs from this document that I'll put colleagues are likely to ask. Now it's still the same conversation. I haven't started a new topic or anything, so it knows exactly what I'm talking about. And it's going to go away now and start having a look at that. So it's using this document, so it tells me that that's the document it's looking at when it's creating these. And you can see here it's created me some FAQs. So really quick, that's my top 20. So if I scroll through this, I can pick any of these. If I, just find out what the information is behind it, it would take me to that part of the document. But I will just want to copy those, because this is going to be part of my finished article. Okay, so I've got my FAQs now. I've got my summary and my table. I know everything that I need to know. The last bit I want to do is actually ask Copilot to write me an email with this information that I can use to send to my colleagues. So write me an email where I can share this information to colleagues and suggest that they read this document. I've missed out that document as a priority. So I'm gonna get an email now, which is lovely. You can see here it says, "Dear colleagues, hope you found this email finds you well. I'd like to bring your attention this document. Here's some of the things that you need to think about. Strongly recommend you read this document. Best regards." Now I can copy that and I can edit it and all this stuff. So I would probably copy this, and then I would put those FAQs that I got into a Word document, and I'd attach that, and I would copy my summary and my table, and I'd add that to the email. But actually, I also want to send this to my German and French colleagues. So I'm going to say, write this email in German and French, please. Okay. Okay, so first of all, it's written this in German for me. So you can see it's the same format. And then, okay, then we've moved on to French. For my French colleagues and my principals. So really easy. I've got summaries, I've got FAQs, it's written me an email, it's done the research for me, find me the right documents that I need to do, and all really, really quickly. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how I use Copilot to help me create this channel. So if I go back into Copilot, it's going to close the browser there. One of the things that I wanted to do to start with was find a name for the channel. So I said, and let's just do this. I'm creating a new YouTube channel that is based on Copilot M365 tips and tricks. And I'd like to create a catchy name that is 2 words, both beginning with C. One of those words needs to be Copilot. Could you give me 20 ideas that might be really useful for the name of my YouTube channel? So Copilot Corner, Copilot Connect, Copilot Campus. So I had Copilot Cafe and I thought, brilliant, that's exactly what I want. So that started to inspire me. Well, now actually, I need to start thinking of some images. Create me an image of a Copilot themed cafe. It needs to be cozy, it needs to be welcoming, and there needs to be people in the cafe that are happy and smiling. So Copilot's now going to go off and look at Designer and start to give me some ideas. I might not like these ideas. I might want to go and change these ideas. That's great, but it's going to give me some ideas. Right. So I could use something like this, and that's been designed in DALL-E 3. So you get the idea. I can do a bit of editing and of this design. Now, actually, the way I actually created this in the end was I went to Microsoft Designer, which is a free app. If you haven't seen that, it's absolutely amazing. Go and check it out. And I will do a video on Designer at some point, because all these beautiful images that you see, I create in Designer. It is still using the same DALL-E 3 technology in the background. You can see it's spelled Copilot wrong as well. So I would probably want to get rid of that. Or I would just ask it to keep generating. I never really pick the first idea. I'll always create more. The next thing I did was I asked it to create me some music. So I'm going to ask for a jingle for my new YouTube channel. So I'm going to say I'm creating a new YouTube channel. It's based on Copilot. And I'd really like a catchy jingle, 20 seconds music clip will get people interested in coming and having a look at my channel. Okay, so let's see what we get. Search with Copilot, find what you need. Quick tips, tricks of USB. Hey, Copilot, fly with me. Quick solutions, easy. It's not too bad. I actually do remember now that when I was creating the channel, because it says, you heard it say Copilot, I had to put co and pilot separately for it to make any sense. But that's what I mean by just keep adding to it, changing it up till you get what you want. But yeah, not a bad start for free, royalty-free music that you can just create yourself and make sure that it's got all the elements that you want in the lyrics. So that's my quick run through of how I quickly put together the artwork, the music, and got the ideas for the name of the channel, all using Copilot, all probably in the space of about 40 minutes, if I'm truly honest. And I think it looks great. I might be a little bit biased. Now, one thing I didn't mention was this little image box, actually. So what I could do is say, let me add a picture of my dog Arthur there, and I could say, create me a cartoon image of my dog Arthur. So let's see what it comes up with. So that's a picture of Arthur. He's always here in the background helping me with the sessions, usually sat on that sofa looking very comfy. So Copilot's going to go away and see if using DALL-E it can actually create that for us. So that's not a bad job. So if I select that, I've got exactly what I wanted. It's noticed that it's on a yellow rug, the colours of the dog. It's in an office and he's sleeping. So I love that, exactly what I wanted. Okay, well, that is everything I wanted to share for this session. I hope you find it useful. I hope it's given you some ideas on how you could use the free version of Copilot. And I always think this is a great way to get people learning how to use AI, learning how to use prompts, And then when they do get that M365 Copilot license and they get all the extra things that come with that, then they can absolutely start using it from day one, and they're not having to start from just learning about prompting skills. I showed that initial project where I wanted to go and do a bit of research on the AI framework. I could have then taken that Word document, popped it into PowerPoint, and created a beautiful presentation at the touch of the button if I had my M365 license. So yeah, lots and lots more possibilities when you've got the full license, but still lots of things that you can do with the free version. So until next time.
Welcome to the Copilot Cafe. Join Joe for a 10-minute stay. Learn new tips every day with demos that light the way.